Hello, this is John Roskam from the Institute of Public Affairs, and I'm with Alfredo Ortiz of the Job Creators Network in the United States. We are on the Cut the Red Tape bus. We've been in Brisbane today, we've been in Lismore, we've been talking to small business owners, we've been talking to journalists. What are people telling you about? And then I'll ask you a little bit about what the Job Creators Network is and why your work is so important for prosperity and the dignity of work. Alfredo.
Great. Well, thank you, John, obviously, for having me in Australia, for hosting me. It's a great honor to be here, obviously, and it's amazing what we've been hearing already today. Very consistent with the same stuff that we were hearing in the United States when we started all of our work on small business, which is a lot of folks don't think they actually have a voice, and they appreciate really the fact that there is an organization or a group or an effort to give them that voice, to give them the megaphone, so that their needs and concerns are actually being heard by your government.
How do you get politicians to listen?
You know, it's amazing. I think the best thing to do is to give them the context of how important small business owners. A lot of times I think people understand that, but they don't really understand it. And so when they hear it directly from the actual small business owners, we heard that last night, for example, even, we know that politicians will listen when they're actually being put in that situation where they have to listen, right? Very consistent.
And you were telling me part of your job is to collect stories. You've got something like 4,500 stories.
That's right.
Of how people want to grow their businesses.
Yeah, that's right. And so Job Creators Network, first of all, was formed by one of our greatest American dream stories in the United States, Bernie Marcus, who founded the Home Depot. A funny story about him is he was actually fired at 48. He started Home Depot at 52. And today, it has 400,000 employees.
He started with just two stores?
Just two stores in Atlanta, Georgia. And again, it's grown to what it is today, international success, frankly, with 400,000 employees across the country. And it's great, but he never forgot what it was like to be a small business owner and the struggles that small business owners went through and go through every single day. And that's why he created Job Creators Network.
What are the biggest challenges that small businesses are talking to you about and the barriers they have to overcome when governments get in the way?
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Well, the first thing they always say is, please get out of the way. Let us do what we know how to do best, which is grow our businesses. But overall, what we saw, there's three main things that small business owners, we've heard, keep them behind. It's overregulation, too much red tape.
Because as you know, IPA research has indicated red tape is the largest industry in the Australian economy.
Yeah, well, I can see that. In the United States, it actually was costing businesses across the board. The latest numbers that I saw in 2016 was about $1.7 trillion, which I think in your country you had mentioned is about 176 billion or something like that. So very equivalent to what we saw in the United States. But so over-regulation, over-red tape, one of the biggest issues. Over-taxation was one of the biggest things that was really affecting. Of course, that has now changed because of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act in the country. And then the last part really for us was really individual access to credit was one of the big things in business credit overall.
And one of the reasons you're in Australia is to talk to us about how you can cut red tape.
That's right.
How governments can cut taxes. Tell us what Donald Trump has been doing in the US.
Look, that has been one of the biggest pieces that he has brought almost immediately out of his administration was the cutting of red tape. He had actually promised that for every regulation introduced, 2 are going to be removed off the table, basically. And he actually didn't fulfill that promise because he fulfilled it 10x actually, so 20 regulations have been removed for every one introduced. So that's been a huge, huge piece, and it's really allowed small businesses to continue to thrive like they never had before. Unfortunately, again, under the previous administration, under the Obama administration, what we were seeing was what we really were calling kind of negative entrepreneurialism. More businesses were closing than were opening. It was a very, very sad
And we've identified we have a similar problem in Australia. Less small businesses are being started now than 10 years ago.
And that is a precursor, I think, and really needs to be paid attention to. Again, I think a lot of it is the taxation element, over-regulation, and again, in our particular case, is lack of access to credit.
And what were the arguments that Donald Trump was making to overcome the opposition that he faced to cutting taxes and cutting red tape?
You know, it's really interesting. So, part of it is he didn't care about what they said.
So that's a good thing.
So that was a good thing. He knew, I think, as a business person, I think that's one of the biggest changes that we've had is we actually have a business person now that's sitting in that chair at the White House that understand how business works and how tax cuts really can help the economy. One of our taglines now where they use that when tax cuts work, America works. And we've seen that. We see record low unemployment, for example, in our country. For the first time in history, in fact, there are 6.5 million unfilled jobs in the United States and only 6 million people to fill them.
It's incredible.
It's really amazing what we're seeing.
And what are the lessons for Australia?
Well, so one immediate thing is that, hopefully for you guys, you have that the cut in the corporate tax rates, because we actually believe that that was a critical component. Those two are so closely linked, the cut in corporate taxes and the cut in small business taxes, and the success of small businesses overall. Because, for example, I had a small business, and my top 2-3 clients were big companies. And when they succeeded, I succeeded. It was a very clear correlation between the two. The ripple effect is there and happens, and it's a very positive effect when corporations are actually doing well.
Great that you could be with us, Alfredo.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
We'll hear from you again.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.